What would the world be like without money? Would it be kumbaya, we're all just sharing things and just loving each other? Or would it be pure anarchy, marked with violence, and just be a little bit ghetto? In this video, I want to talk about a world without money. And no, I don't mean going back to a barter system, because Lord knows I'm not able. And honestly, if you think about it, bartering is still kind of like money because it's an exchange, right? So I'm talking about a world without that kind of exchange. Has money really helped us, or has it really just become a detriment to the whole society? Stick around for all that and more. It's Crystal with the Cash Compass. All right, welcome back. I am here to teach you all the things that you should have learned in school about money, but for whatever reason, they forgot to mention it. If you love all things personal finance, economics, investing, anything money related, you're definitely going to want to subscribe. I'll give you some time to do that. Thank you. All right, so let's kind of start with your relationship with money. And I'm not trying to get all up in your business, but think about, your relationship with money, and let me know in the comments below if it's been mostly positive or mostly negative. I think most people have had maybe, of course, like a mixed experience with money, but for me personally, it's been pretty positive these days. However, it's always something, right? You ever heard like more money, more problems? You have that kind of lifestyle creep as you start making more money. There's always that need to like want to level up, to get a better car, like go on better vacations. It's always a constant grab, like the carrot right in front of your face on the treadmill, something like that. I think that's a lot of people's relationship with money, but let me know what you think about that. Even if you do have a lot of money, there could be money anxiety. People always wanting to borrow money from you. You're not really sure who's your real friends, right? So at any money level, or at any net worth, so to speak, you're going to have different problems with money. And I think a lot of people talk about money and wanting more money, but I think we really just want more freedom. Like for me personally, I just want to be able to make my own decisions with my own life, but because I have to kind of exchange my time for my living, I'm not able to do that. It's our time and we don't really have that freedom. So for me, I think the main thing is really time freedom, that freedom to do what you want when you want to, and not have to really report to somebody or ask permission from somebody who you don't even know like that. So of course, in a way, money has simplified things. Back in the day, at least we were told that there was a barter system. So if you had some cattle, you can exchange that for, somebody's chicken eggs or something like that. So in a way, I'm definitely happy we got past that, right? I mean, obviously I'd be forced to come up with something, but it's a lot of work. I don't want to have to drag a whole cow over if I want to get some eggs. So in a way, money has made exchange much simpler. But some people would argue that if we did not have money, people would be able to do what truly speaks to them, chase their passions and not have to worry about eating or whatever, lights, or having shelter, right? The thing about people and their passions, though, that they're dynamic, and think about your life. You might have been really interested in something at one point in time, and now it's not, it's nothing but a faint memory. People are dynamic. So I don't know how successful we would be if everybody was just doing what they love. You know what I'm saying? Because what if one day this guy wants to be a pilot and the next thing you know, he wants to be a veterinarian? Or how am I going to get to my trip to Paris? And we're kind of seeing this now, right? Because a lot of people have been getting bonus unemployment, the stimulus checks, and all these like rent moratoriums, a whole bunch of basically free money, right? And as a result, people have been struggling to find, employees. I think it was it Family Dollar? If I could find it, I'll post it here. But it was literally an employer giving away like $500, like a sign-on bonus. But it was something like Dollar Tree. It wasn't even like a big corporation. It's like you're paying people $500 just to come back to work. That's nuts. And then there's things that are not people's passions, like maybe collecting garbage or cleaning people's houses or cleaning office spaces, these type of things. No disrespect to those professions at all, but most people don't necessarily grow up dreaming of doing that, right? So then we would have like big deficits in certain areas of things that people just simply don't want to do. We would, on top of that, lose a huge sector of jobs, and that might be good or bad, right? Like the finance sector is pretty much slowly taking over. Financialization, I've talked about this on my channel a few times, but basically this finance sector, so the banking jobs, finance jobs, stocks and all those things, they don't necessarily create production, right? Or they don't necessarily produce anything. It's more like making money off of money, right? Like my job's main bread and butter is really commercial lending. So we make money off of money. We just loan you the money and you give us money back, right? That whole sector would no longer exist. So I would be in need of a job. So if this ever happens, please let me know if you're hiring. Or I guess everywhere will be hiring because you can do whatever you want, right? I don't know how this would work. What about travel? Am I going to be able to go on a flight for free, go to a different country for free, eat for free, stay in a hotel for free? How would we regulate those things, right? Because those are leisure activities. If the people who are thinking a world without money would be better, what kind of restrictions would we have on people traveling, right? Like, would we be able to travel as much as we want to? Because everything is just kind of free in an open pool. That I really wouldn't see where the motivation would be to work. But on the flip side, that may mean that we would be able to better allocate our resources, right? So I seen something that said we literally have enough food to feed everybody, right? There shouldn't be any starving people, and we also have enough homes or shelter to have no homeless people. But obviously, as you look around, there are people who are absolutely starving, and there are definitely people who are homeless, right? So if we got rid of money, because let's be honest, that's driven by money, right? People who are starving, it's because these restaurants are, for example, and I'm not a restaurant owner. I don't know what every restaurant does with their food, but I've definitely talked to a couple of restaurants halfway preparing for this video, kind of not just asking them what they do with the food, and they said they throw it away. What if there was a food bank and people could just donate the food to this food bank and people can go over there and get their food, right? Or I guess if there was no money at all, people could just walk straight into a supermarket and get what they need. Because of money, and I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of speculating. Obviously, I haven't spoken to all these people. But from my opinion, from my view, I think these restaurants rather throw out the money than keep on donating it or giving it to the homeless, because that would kind of create an issue where homeless people would know, okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get some food. And maybe people who are not even homeless would go over there and try to get some food, right? So I can understand them not doing it, but I also think it's terrible that we're just wasting food. And there's a lot of homes that just go abandoned or unrented because people want to make money and they rather have it abandoned than to give it to somebody else who would just be living there for free. But if we had everything for free, who would be there to regulate things, right? Who would be there to regulate how much groceries you would be able to have or what kind of house you'd be able to live in? Would everything be equal? That would be hard to go to, right? From the world we are in now. Like if we were born into that, I think it'd be okay. But we already have like classism. We already have social constructs. For everybody to be quote unquote equal, like no one would be able to flex on the ground no more, okay? Nobody would be able to just show off their lifestyle. What about these designer companies, right? Can I just walk in and get me a Louis, get me a Dior bag? I don't know. We've gotten so used to certain luxuries that I think it would be really hard to go backwards, in my opinion, and kind of have everything just be flat out equal. On top of that, I think in this society, people just like to be above each other. So they would still try to find a way to create some sort of classism. It's kind of like that episode of like, what was that? The Fairly Odd Parents. Don't know if anybody's with me. But there was an episode where they all became like gray blobs. And, they were so like, oh, well, I'm the grayest and I'm the blobbiest, right? Like, so there's always going to be classism because I think that's just how humans are created. It's just human nature. So like I just said, basically, I don't think that we'd be able to go to a complete moneyless society. Some people argue that there's going to be like anarchy and fighting in the streets. I think that would only exist if it was like we just took money away out of nowhere, right? And then we didn't really allocate resources. I don't see things getting super violent. Although I will say, between the toilet paper issue we had last year and the gas situation we have going on right now, that is more than enough evidence that people would freak out in a real event. You know what I mean? And this is kind of getting off topic, but I was thinking about this over the weekend. Like, toilet paper, it was just like a kind of like not a rumor, but it was like we didn't really have a toilet paper shortage and we didn't really have a gas shortage all over the country, right? But everybody was rushing to buy gas, or at least on the East Coast or whatever. Imagine if there's like a real crisis, you know what I mean? people was like putting gas in garbage bags and putting gas in things that gas should not be in, and they probably will blow up, right? But they don't care because they're looking out for themselves. So imagine a world like, you have to be prepared because you don't know what's going to happen in this world, but you could see people are totally nuts out here. So I don't know. That was a side note. But basically, I think a hybrid situation would be better and actually serve our community greater. We're in too deep with this money thing, so I do think it would be hard for society to kind of go into a we're all equal thing, and that would require a heavy amount of government intervention, which I personally don't think is a good idea, right? I don't want people kind of governing and ruling my whole life, dictating exactly what I can eat, dictating exactly where I'm going to live and where I'm going to go. You still kind of lose freedom in this situation, right? Like the whole purpose is to be in a more free, comfortable society, but I don't think so. I think it would be much more policed, and I don't like being policed. The concept of communal ownership, which is kind of where everybody, like the community owns something, I think that could work with certain things, right? Like it could work with maybe electricity. It could work with, water and things like that. But I don't think everything can be just communal, because then it's going to become, a situation where we're kind of, again, like I've said, being heavily regulated just to make sure everything is equal for everybody. I think if money is something that we struggle with, we should try to become less reliant on the system and less reliant on money. So if you are able to, you can get solar panels for your home, right? So now you can still have energy. You don't necessarily need to depend on making a living, so you can pay this electric bill, right? Same thing with like the whole, getting a Tesla. If you have a car that's electric, and then you have your electricity being provided for free, and I don't know the technicalities behind solar energy, so don't drag me in the comments. But this is ways you kind of reduce your need for money because you are becoming more self-reliant. Maybe even having like a small garden or something like that, where you can cook up some tomatoes and have some jalapenos and all these fresh fruits, so you don't have to go to the supermarket as much, right? So kind of reducing our dependency on money, because we all know we depend on money heavily. The government knows that too. And if you create more of a dependency on people or on money or on the government, they have a tighter hold on you. And it's going to be hard to make moves, honey. But let me know what you think. Do you think a life without money would be more beneficial? Or do you think that people would become barbaric and steal from each other and I don't know what else? Let me know, because I want to hear from you. But that will do it. If you like this video, then please be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. And if you have nothing else going on, you know what to do. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.